Um, One of the really kind of up and coming topics with AI is talking a little bit about virtual assistants and whether or not they're going to be able, the dreaded question of are they going to be able to replace our paralegals and our assistants one day? And who knows? I don't think so. I think that there's a lot of value in having human interaction and having our paralegals really assist with, some client management. But I think that, and I also think that there are some. Right now, we don't have all of the ethical issues up to date with using a virtual assistant and uploading things into what we believe may be secure servers or not secure servers, and whether or not they're in training mode or not in training mode. And I may have lost a lot of people right there, but just know that virtual assistants are up and coming. They might be people that, I'm already there, bots that could help us with day to day, like answering phones, calendaring things, maybe even helping automate some of our everyday practices. But for now, I think I wanted to focus today on just showing everybody a little tip that we use that has helped with calendaring deadlines and using chat to help with that. A lot of times, we get a new trial date and we ask our paralegals to calendar all the dates. And that could, one, result in about an hour of us getting calendar invites of each one of those deadlines. And so one way that I have found that really helps is to use chat to be able to, and I'm going to share my screen here. It's the wrong screen, so I'm going to share the right screen to be able to um, help us automate that. And, this could be a task that could take our paralegals 30, 45 minutes by the time we calculate the deadlines, and then by the time we create the calendar invites, include everybody that needs to be on there. So I have just a very basic free version of chat pulled up. It is just the Chat GPT. It is going to operate under the newer operating system. Our firm uses an Excel sheet that helps us create our trial deadlines, and most people use those. And I know that everybody has one. And if you don't have one, feel free to email me at sally@coonsfuller.com. And I am happy to share our spreadsheet with you and you can use it. But what this does here, it's just a simple spreadsheet that we have the major deadlines that we need before trial. And I can input today's date and then I input the trial date. So for purposes of today, I just said, hey, we're going to have a trial 3 days before Christmas. Yay for all of us. And when that puts it in there, it goes ahead and gives me most of my trial deadlines. And these are according to Texas rules, so they might vary per state, just full disclosure. Um, Once I have this, I then hit save on it, and it is saved on my desktop, just so everybody knows. All of these are the deadlines that are now calculated, tells me whether or not it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Um, then what I do is I go over to chat, and just for purposes of today, so we're not sitting around while it is thinking, I have pre-uploaded over here what is a prompt. And for people who don't know what a prompt is, it is me asking chat to do what I'd like it to for it's my question to chat. And there's a little bit of an art when you draft them, just so that it knows and has specific instructions on what to do. So for today, I'm just going to ask chat. Most of it can be very, very conversational and say, please take the attached spreadsheet and the deadlines on it and create downloadable Outlook calendar invites for each deadline with the title being Pretorius. And right there, you could put the client name as a holder. And then the deadline beginning in columns B through 24. And those are the same ones that line up with my spreadsheet. And then I'm going to tell it how I want it to deliver it to me. So I'm saying this is where it gets a little bit more technical. And this part of it that's highlighted took a little bit of trial and error, but you guys are free to take this one and it works pretty well and it gives us what we need. So, like I said, for purposes of today, I went ahead and pre-put it in there. So this is one of the ones from early on when I was playing with it. And if you'll see, here's the top of my conversation. What I did is I pre-put it in there so you guys can see what it is. And when I first put it in there, I was very basic, and then it kind of corrects you and tells you what you do and don't need. And then once I had a good prompt, I ran it pretty clean. So here I just told it to take my spreadsheet and the deadlines on it and create downloadable calendar invites with each deadline being what we just talked about. Then what it does is it goes in and it creates all of these calendar invites for me. And what I can then do with those is I can go to my downloads. I hit the download button over here where it says download all the invites at once. I then download it and it has them up here. I unzip it. And then when I open it, it will be the calendar invite oh, that I want. And it will be in here. And I just hit save. And then I can add anybody that I need to add. If I need to add my paralegal, I can add her in. I can add an associate. And this whole process from beginning to end can take about 3 to 4 minutes as opposed to the 45 minutes to an hour that it would take before to create each one of those calendar invites. You could also, once you have these created one time, you could email these out to somebody if you wanted to send them to a client, if you wanted to send them to an expert. You could then take these files and forward them to them so everybody has the same deadlines that we're working under. Um, just one of these little tips that with trial and error, if you get it really down to it, like I do have with the my saved prompt here, I probably just lost it. Um, Wherever it went, my little saved prompt, I just keep it on the side and whenever I need it, pull it up, fix it a little bit every time, but it works like a charm and probably saves us about, like I said, 45 minutes to an hour of time that my paralegal could be working on something. It's probably a little bit more fun and exciting for her. If you guys have any questions about how to use those, I'm always happy to answer, but it's just a little tech tip that I think might be something that a virtual assistant one day might do. But for now, you can be your own virtual assistant. And
All
with that,
right.
I'll turn it back over to you, Dave.
Well, I have a question,
Oh.
and that just kind of escaped me, but okay. I mean, it looks a little bit technical and in depth when I went through this with you and I watched it. How long did it take you to sort of learn this and I would say master it where you could do it easily and quickly and make it effective? How long do you think it took you to learn this?
Oh man, it maybe took me 5 minutes, but here's what I'm gonna show you. So I saved this one on purpose so you guys could see the learning process. So from beginning to end, it probably took chat maybe 5 minutes because it gave me one that I didn't like at first. And then it also gave me some suggestions. It was like, hey, maybe you did this, but maybe you want to do that. And so I was like, yes, please rename it this way. And then it would tell me, great, I've done it the way you asked me to do it. And then at the end of it, it tells me, gave me, you want one last polish? Do you want an automatic reminder? What do you want? And then I told it how I wanted it, and it fixed it, and we were done.
Okay. Now you said I go into chat, and I know that's
Mhm.
a pretty basic start.
Oh, yeah.
Can you show them what you mean by going into chat?
Yeah, so for purposes of this one, I use Chat GPT just because it's something that everybody is pretty familiar with and they have free versions. So you go to Chat GPT and create an account, and here's what you start with. And it says, what's on the agenda today? And from right here is where I would plug in that little prompt that I shared a minute ago that has gone missing because I have double screens up today. Oh, there it went. Sorry if I'm making you guys a little dizzy. So I would just literally copy and paste this in here. And then I would drag over my spreadsheet
And start that way.
and it
Okay.
would start. So it starts right from the beginning page, just right where it goes.
Now, I've heard a lot of people talk about Copilot. Is there any particular reason why you use chat over Copilot?
Maybe because I'm a Mac user. That might be one of the reasons. I also just thought that most people are more familiar with this. Um, Copilot, my personal opinion, not endorsing anybody. I just feel more comfortable on chat. I actually really like Gemini as well. I think it's very task specific, and I thought that for creating downloadable outlooks, chat was just probably the better one for us to learn on
Okay.
for today.
Now, you mentioned free versus a little cost. Does chat, is what you use free, or do you have to pay a subscription per month?
Nope, I used the free version for this one. Didn't even log in.
All right. All right. Well, I think that was a great presentation and
Awesome.
showed us how to use a calendaring system to help you out and reduce the time and probably make your legal assistants a little happier because they don't have to go through it for an hour. Is
The
that correct?
mundane tasks, right? That's
Oh,
what you want
yeah,
to take
that's
away.
right. All right. Well, Sally, thank you very much.
Oh,
That's a
my
great
dog.
tip for this month. And over and out until next month.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Take care.